Well, I don't know if I've ever been so happy to be wrong, but halftime of the Sugar Bowl, Georgia versus Baylor. Georgia's up 19-0 over Baylor, and it's really been honestly one of the most dominating performances I've seen from Georgia against anything close to resembling a quality team in a while. I mean, Georgia has pushed around lots of inferior opponents, but I mean, Baylor's not great. It appears as though the Big 12 is just complete doo-doo. I don't know, but I was wrong here. I thought Georgia was going to struggle with all these players out. Fromm has played well. George Pickens is playing out of his mind. George Pickens has 165 yards. Baylor has 95 total. So Pickens alone has more yards than Baylor. I'm not surprised at how the defense is playing. We have a couple of guys, a couple of starters out on defense, but I've trusted our defense all year way more than I've trusted our offense. But, we're missing 3 starters off the offensive line. We're missing a couple of running backs. We're missing a couple of wide receivers. I really thought Georgia's offense was going to come out and crap the bed like they've done almost every single game this entire season. But they're playing pretty well. The running game is okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I'd give the running game probably a B- or a C+. But the passing game so far has been good. Now, early in the game, Fromm missed a couple of throws. He made some really bad throws early in the game. And I was thinking, here we go again with this guy now. But you got to give credit. I can't come on here and bash Fromm every time he plays bad, which is almost every single time, if I'm not going to give him credit when he plays well. And he's played well in the first half. How much of that is George Pickens? I don't know. George Pickens has been on the roster every single game this year. He's played in every single game this year. In all of every single game this year, with the exception of the first half of the SEC championship game when he was suspended. But Fromm's playing great. Hell, Matt Landers had a touchdown catch. Tyler Simmons made a catch, and then Matt Landers had a touchdown catch, and I knew right there, I said, this game's over. When Matt Landers has a touchdown catch, you don't understand how rare this is. You guys remember this? I don't know. You could probably use a lot of different examples, but when I was in high school, we'd go to the high school basketball games, and in the fourth quarter, there was a certain player, and if we put that player in, you knew the game was over. He was terrible. And you're like, oh my God, if they're putting this guy in, the game's over. If Matt Landers catches a touchdown pass on you, this game's over. Baylor has no answers offensively for Georgia's defense. Georgia's defense is playing out of its mind, which, like I've said a bunch of times, is no surprise. Is no surprise to me. Georgia's defense is absolutely elite. And bad news, if you're a fan of a team not named Georgia and you're watching this video, Georgia's defense will be probably better next year than it is this year. They're losing really nothing of significance. They're losing J.R. Reed, but he's not playing in this game. They're not losing much off of this defense. We'll see what kind of offense Georgia decides to try it out onto the field next year. But so far, so good for Georgia. I've never been happier to be wrong. 20 players out and absolutely dominating. The team that they're telling us is the 7th best team in the country. I question whether there's any Big 12 team that's even actually a top 10 team. But a dominating first half from Georgia so far. How about Kirby Smart icing his own kicker, though? Hot Rod is so good. Hot Rod's the best player we've had since Herschel Walker. I mean, that's no surprise. No coincidence that he's led the team in scoring every single year that Jack Fromm has been the quarterback either, by the way. But Hot Rod is so good that just for fun, we iced our own kicker. I've never seen anything like it. Kirby's playing like Cambodian chess while all of y'all are playing checkers. See you at the end of the game, though.